Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our podcast of Two Halves, brought to you by Spark Events. We hope everybody had as good of a new year as possible, and we thank you for joining us today. This is our second episode, following up from last week when we introduced ourselves and went through our predictions for the Premier League and Championship. In today's episode, we're going to discuss what's been going down in England's top two divisions over this past week, and I'm once again joined by football experts Mo, Isaac, and Ethan. So if you want to say hello, boys.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, as I'm sure you know, football moves fast and a lot can change in a week, and we have seen that to maximum effect in the Premier League, where champions-elect Chelsea find themselves just 3 points above relegation candidates Arsenal after Man City revved up their engines at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. Leicester continue to impress after a win on Tyneside, and poor old Sheffield United, who we all tipped to finish bottom of the league, can't buy a point right now, never mind a win. But it was last night's result at St Mary's that will steal all of the headlines, as Liverpool have now taken 2 points from a possible 9, and Southampton themselves start to believe that they can challenge for a European spot just over a year after losing 9-0 to Leicester City. In the Championship, Norwich, Swansea and Bournemouth all picked up wins this weekend after failing to win in midweek, and Bournemouth and Brentford find themselves just 2 points off second with a game in hand each. Also, just 8 points separates Watford in 6th and Cardiff in 15th. Meaning a lot of teams are eyeing up those playoff spots. So, gents, casting our minds back briefly to midweek, does anybody want to kick off this first half and go over some key talking points?
Yeah, I'll kick off this week's podcast with just talking about Leeds' emphatic win over West Brom midweek. The strength they showed going forward, as they have done in previous games, was magnificent.
Leeds are so impressive going forward. I mean, we were just discussing Leeds are either hit or miss. They can blow teams away so easily, or they themselves can get blown away. Just depends which Leeds team.
Yeah, it's almost like they're not afraid of continuing to attack even when they're losing. So, like, they're playing Man United and there was, losing by 3-4 goals, and they're still continuing to attack. Whereas majority of teams, they'd be sitting back for damage limitation, whereas Leeds, Bielsa doesn't think like that. He always tries to keep and trying to get something from the games.
Yeah, he always does the same thing, no matter what. Like, say when he played United, he went 2-0 down after 3 minutes, he didn't change what he was doing. Ended up going 4-0 down.
They get a lot of praise from the media, and I think it annoys some people. Like, there's a lot of people complaining on Twitter. I feel like Leeds get a free pass when they're getting smashed like 5-0. Everybody's all over them saying, what brilliant football they play. You can look at it two ways. You can look at it as stupid. You can look at it as naive. Or you can look at it as entertaining. At the end of the day, football's meant to be entertaining. People like watching Leeds. So what can you do? They're a newly promoted team and they're battling it out well.
Yeah. Most teams are negative against teams like Liverpool, Man United. All them teams, like you say, Burnley did go to part of the bus, finish 0-0. Leeds actually go and give them a game.
Yeah, one thing you've got to give to Leeds is they create chances. They're 6-2 down against Man United, and they're still creating chances. On the other hand, they played West Brom, and the game finished 5-0. West Brom, I feel like they tried coming out to play because they were playing Leeds, whereas I think they would have been better if they sat in, like they played against Liverpool, played to their strengths, just because Leeds weren't as good. They, in mindset-wise, they thought, we might be able to get something from this game and score some goals. Whereas that's where they went wrong. Leeds United always create chances and they just cut them apart. Simple as that.
After we all did our predictions, I think, did we all have West Brom staying up, or maybe one of us didn't?
I hadn't to stay up.
I think you might be right out of the four of us now, because they've not done too well after that Liverpool game, have they?
Yeah, I think Big Sam will walk. Personally, I think he'll walk to because it'll be like February, March, and he'll realise he won't be able to keep him up. And he'll want to keep his record.
Yeah,
never been relegated.
I do think January is big for Big Sam. If he gets the players that he needs, things might change. But at the moment, the side he's got, they're really struggling. I just don't understand though. How can you go from playing so well against Liverpool, they're so organised and in the shape, to then losing against Crystal Palace and Leeds? I think, as I said already, they're playing with a different approach against the lesser so-called teams, and that's where they're going wrong.
Well, yeah, I thought that sitting back suits them.
Yeah, you look at the game they played against Villa. That was the first game Big Sam was in charge. He got beat 3-0. And then they played Liverpool. They drew 1-1. And after that, they played Leeds. Got beat 5-0. And they played Arsenal. And got beat 4-0. So they've only scored one goal under Big Sam. So it's like they don't know where the goal's coming from for a start.
It's looking pretty bleak for them. We also had Arsenal winning against Brighton. I mean, many people before the game were calling it some sort of relegation scrap. But as we've seen, Arsenal have now got 3 wins on the bounce. They're not doing too bad, are they?
Yeah, Arsenal are strong so far. The last 3 games, they seem to turn it around. The Chelsea game, Box Day, was really big for him.
Yeah, and I said last week in the podcast that Brighton game was a big game for Arsenal because they had to follow it up. It wasn't a pretty game, but they got that win. That's what was important. And now they're slowly picking up, and some Arsenal fans will quietly be thinking, Arsenal are back how they should be playing.
I was enjoying the little Arsenal spell near the bottom, but it seems like they're going to start climbing up now. The league's so tight, so you can go from
they could finish anywhere now.
Yeah, we did all say last week when we spoke about Arsenal that they will start picking up, and there wasn't a chance they were going to get relegated, but it's just maintaining the form now. They need to try and keep this form up and keep getting them wins over the line.
Yeah, and a big win for the Red Devils in the 93rd minute came through a Rashford deflected goal. Huge win for United, and we know after the Liverpool game last night that Man United only need a point away at Burnley to go top of the league.
Yeah, Man United to be taken seriously, they need to beat Burnley in that game now.
Yeah, in previous seasons, it'd be a game that we would have dropped points. Maybe we would have bottled, but you could say that about the past 2 games as well.
Yes,
we got into the line against Wolves late on, and then we found a way to win against a very, very good Villa team.
Do you think that was a penalty?
Yeah.
I do think it was.
It's a debatable one.
He's running, and then Luis does impede him, because if Luis wasn't there, then he doesn't fall over, does he?
See, I think it was harsh on Villa, just the way he tripped over his own legs, but I don't think that gets overturned.
He wouldn't have tripped over his own leg if there was no contact from the Villa player, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That Wolves game, it wasn't pretty, but that's what champions do. You could almost say it's a champions result.
Mm-hmm.
Big game soon against Liverpool next week.
Yeah, it's a big game. We said that last week, didn't we? That it'll be
even bigger now, isn't it?
It'll show if United are serious title contenders. If they win that, they've got potential going 6 points clear. We're talking about Manchester United here. People wanted the manager out a few weeks ago. It's crazy how football changes.
I think it might be between Liverpool and then the 2 Manchester clubs, because Man City are looking okay too now, aren't they?
Yeah.
After their win at Chelsea. Very impressive first half. They blitzed them, really, and then the game was done. So if we want to fast forward now to this weekend just gone, we'll get started with some championship games. So Isaac, have you been watching any championship this weekend?
Yes. We'll start with the top of the table clash at the Liberty Stadium. Swansea against Watford. Finished 2-1 to Swansea. Really good. Swansea were. Watford didn't really create much. They started well. Tom cleverly outside the box made the score 1-0, but then after that it was all Swansea really.
The only thing I can tell you about this game is just from watching Ben Foster's vlog, and he said he started well as well. So I'll go with you on that one. Yeah.
Anything you want to add on that game, Mo?
I feel like the problem that Watford have got at the moment is they're not taking the chances. They've got really good strike force of Deeney and Andre Gray, but they're just not doing it. I think Andre Gray scored 1 goal since the start of lockdown, I'm sure I read. And Troy Deeney, I don't think he suits Watford at the moment. He just doesn't look fit to me. Watford tries to play on the counter-attack and fast-playing football, and Deeney just can't keep up. I know he scores a lot of goals, but a lot of them are penalties. Yeah, so Watford, it's hard to understand what's going on there, because Andre Gray, he's done it already. He's done it with Burnley. He was playing in the last season in the Premier League with Watford. It's something that needs addressing because they've got the talent there, but they're struggling to get results. And if they're not careful, this league, you drop out the playoffs. They're dropping slowly down that table. They're playing okay first half before they had the lead. But as Isaac said, Swansea came into it. You can't. You got to give Swansea the credit. It's a good strike for Jamal Lowe. Jamal Lowe, I think, is a superb striker, and if Swansea are then up there this season, he's a major factor there.
Any other games stand out?
I think Reading's performance was very, very good away at Huddersfield. Huddersfield went 1 up. To be fair, Huddersfield had a lot of chance in the first half, but Reading came back in the second half, played really well. Lucas Shaw's been out injured. I think that's why they've slacked off a bit. He's come back, scored a brace, showed his quality.
They're top scorer in the league now, isn't he?
Yeah, he scored 7 in 7. So Reading have moved above Watford, and I thought Reading would drop off a bit, but having Lucas Shaw back, I think it's a massive boost, and they could stay in. I think they will stay in that playoff position now.
Well, they had that good start, didn't they? Right at the top of the league by quite a lot.
Yeah, they did have a really good start. I've been watching Reading carefully just because one of my customers, as I sell kits, as you guys know, Tom Holmes, he plays for Reading. So I've been watching, keeping an eye on them. And it just seems like they're organised and they've got a striker who can score goals in Lucas Shaw with good players around him, such as Ajaria. But as you said, in this league, you've got to get results even if you don't play well. The Reading manager said that could have been their best performance all season, even though the football wasn't the best. The way they hung in there in the first half and played some nice football in the second half. If they keep it up, I think they will get top 6, as we said last week. The Bournemouth-Stoke game, we'll touch on that. That was a really good result for Bournemouth, I thought. It was a tight game. Stoke is not an easy place to go. Physical side, one of the best defensive sides in the league. It was a tight game, and they're the type of games that you need to win if you want to be finishing in the top 2.
Yeah.
And 79th minute winner. It was a big goal for Bournemouth.
Puts them right back up there now, doesn't it, as well? Like
Yeah,
I said, they can go into second if they win a game in hand over Norwich and Swansea.
Yeah, they got Josh King coming back as well for the championship. It's a phenomenal.
Yeah, that's huge.
I always
Like
thought though, with the players they've got, such as David Brooks, Stanislas, Josh King coming back, they are superb players for this division. What about the Norwich game, Isaac?
Started the game top, come out the game top of the league as well. Facing the informed Barnsley side that I touched on last week. And to be fair, Barnsley had some good chances. They had the last kick of the game that probably should have scored.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
I've seen that.
But before that, on the other hand, Norwich had a lot of very good chances. Pookie had one clear off the line.
He went through on goal as well.
Yeah, he also missed a one-on-one. But the Norwich goal was brilliant. Wendy, the quality he's got is amazing. It's ball's come over his head, volleyed it first time. That's the quality that he's got. And if you want to win the game, that's how you do it.
That's probably why a number of Premier League clubs are supposedly looking at him as well. I was sort of surprised when he didn't get a move this summer just gone as well.
But Man United were linked with him, weren't they? Quite a lot.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. I mean, who aren't we linked with? But yeah, we were.
Yeah. Well,
Arsenal, Arsenal looking at him, aren't they?
Yeah, it could be good for
I think he'd suit Arsenal.
Ozil replacement. Well, Emil Smith-Rowe's been doing well for them, but I think Wendy will provide more of an impact.
Yeah.
Smith-Rowe's still young.
Definitely.
Yeah, I've got Norwich to win the league, but a big factor that is keeping Buendia in January. And I was watching EFL Quest, and apparently a lot of Norwich fans got in touch with the show asking not to give a good analysis on Buendia as he's already getting enough attention as it is. But it's a great play, like Isaac said. Though the ball came over the top, and the way he's brung it down to score first time, it was a little bit similar to the Danny Ings goal last night, but it was more technique to it. But it was a superb goal. Barnsley, I think I know Isaac rates them very highly. They've played some good football, even though a lot of sides that aren't that good, like well-known sides in the league, they focus more defensively. What I like about Barnsley is they focus more on attackingly. They've got the 6th worst defence in the league. However, they are good to watch. They are one of the best teams to watch in the Championship.
Just looking at the previous results, they've had a lot of 2-1 wins. Five in the last 7, I think. Yeah. 5 in the last 7 have been 2-1 wins. So, yeah, a lot of both teams scoring.
Yeah. It's usually a good watch when Barnsley play because they're always attacking, and when you're attacking, you're going to concede. So there's always a lot of chances getting created, and they could have
actually.
Yeah, on the weekend, and they could have easily equalised at the last kick of the game.
So we're basically calling Barnsley the BTEC leads of the Championship, aren't we?
Yeah.
See if they can go up and do the same.
Yeah, but I think if they want to be playoff contenders, they need to sort their defence out because you can't be conceding so many goals every game. As I said, they got the 6th worst defensive record in the division.
Should we sadly move on to the North End game?
Just about to mention that one. Go on, boys, take it away.
Well, we actually created a lot of chances. We hit the bar twice, or post. Burkus had a header ridiculously saved by their keeper. But I don't really want to talk about the penalty because I think there was.
All we asked for. Go on.
I think Fisher knew what he was doing, going in with his hand. However, I believe that he was fouled by Graben, and if he doesn't get fouled, I don't think
he handballs it.
Well, I don't think he falls over and handballs it, to be honest, if he don't get fouled.
And then as for the kick, he's double kicked it. All we ask for is, referee, what are you looking at? What is the referee
I've not seen it.
Yeah, he's double kicked it. He double kicked it and he scored. And Alex Neil came out and said that's cost us the game, which it did. Because I don't think Nottingham Forest would have scored because it was one-way traffic all game. I think the officiating in this division is atrocious. We say it week in, week out, and teams get cost results. Like every week, there's a talking point of a referee costing teams results. And how long does this go on for? Go on.
It's not even sometimes it's biased. Like sometimes the opposition can get a red card, for example, and we'd say like, "Oh, that's never a red card," or we get a penalty and go, "We shouldn't have had a penalty." So it's not just being biased. Like
it was
standard of refereeing.
I watched the Derby game on Friday night against Sheffield Wednesday, and that's a 6-pointer. Both teams are down there. Last kick of the game. Yeah. Derby, it was a stone wall handball. He's got his arm out. I'm not sure what the referee saw not to give it. I was speaking to a mate of mine who's a Derby fan, and he's saying that could cost relegation back end of the season. Decisions like that, because it's a 6-point swing with Sheffield Wednesday being down there as well. Something needs addressing. I know the EFL clubs made a complaint about the level of officiating, but it's like, how long can this go on for?
A lot of people complain about VAR, don't they? But at the end of the day, it will stop a lot of silly decisions like that.
See, I'm not really a fan of VAR just because you score a goal. Do you know how to celebrate a goal? I'm not asking for VAR. It's just fair enough if some decisions are tight, but like when it's a double kick from a penalty or a blatant handball, it's just like, what's the referee seen not to give it? We understand like a tight offside. That's completely understandable. We're not crying about a few inches and an offside. We're talking about stonewall penalties and red cards, like what VAR was supposed to be. But it isn't. Clear and obvious mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think North End, it happens. We created chances. It was a good game. We hit the crossbar twice. They scored on the run of play, and that's Championship football end of the day. But it's the referee that cost us, ultimately.
I mean, at least you're winning midweek, eh? It's not.
Yeah,
It's not
well,
doom
we
and gloom.
picked up 9 points over the Christmas period, so it was a good Christmas period, to be fair.
Break from league action this week with the FA Cup, so change the squad up, get some fresh legs, and come back whoever we've
Wickham
got
away.
in 2 weeks.
Bristol City away we've got.
Yeah, come back then.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Ben Foster's vlog at Old Trafford, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
If they let him film. I know United are very iffy with stuff like that. We didn't let Amazon Prime film or anything when City were doing the documentary. So I hope we let him film.
Well, what I
Yeah,
seen, what Watford fans weren't happy with that Ben Foster GoPro. Some supporters I seen on Twitter was complaining that does it affect his performances? I know that he didn't have a great game in the weekend. That second goal was his fault. He came out to punch it, and Jamal Law's beat him to the header. I do understand a little bit because does it?
It made me think he puts on a bit of a
very good goal.
Trying to create more highlights.
Yeah, no, but don't get me wrong. Ben Foster's a great keeper. He's he could be the best in the Championship, you could say. But if it's affecting his performances, I'd be asking the question if it was for my team.
So would I.
He almost tries too hard sometimes, like that second goal. There was no need for him to come out and punch it, but he might just feel like he needs to because the GoPro's there. Yeah.
Right then, I think we've rounded up the Championship nicely there. Do we want to jump over to the Premier League from Saturday? We had Arsenal with another impressive win. Well, maybe not impressive win, but another win at that.
A win in good style would be the right word.
Yeah. One player who's really impressed me from Arsenal is Saka. I think he's been brilliant this season.
Yeah, he's been their best player this season.
Yeah, 100%.
Smith Rowe's come in and he's changed him, I think. Because he came in against Chelsea and
he's linking the play really well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Kieran Tierney as well had a fantastic game.
Yeah, they've gone with youth this time. Like they've been playing Willian all the time, and they've realised younger players like Willock, Smith Rowe, Saka, all that kind of players, and it's working for them.
I think ultimately just because they want it.
Yeah.
They want to work for their place. Whereas if they're just playing first teamers, they know they're going to play week in, week out. So if you chuck the youngsters in, they're going to want it, and they've actually got quality.
I think Willian's more than happy to collect his 200, 300 grand a week and chill out. Whereas the younger boys, like you said, they want to work for it and they want to work hard. So yeah, Arsenal 3 points off Chelsea now. I think they played the same games, haven't they? Yeah, they have.
Yeah, that's this season though.
It's getting very interesting.
It's very tight. Arsenal was 16th when they 3 games ago. Now 3 points behind Chelsea. They're only 10 points behind Liverpool as well, which isn't even that much considering everyone thinks that Arsenal had a terrible season.
Yeah, you see teams turn around 10-point deficits to win titles and things. So it's completely plausible to think Arsenal could still get top 4.
Yeah, they could still be up there. They could still get top 6 because 29 points, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th are on 29 points. They're only 6 points behind. There's plenty of the season to go.
I'd go as far as saying it's impossible for Arsenal to get top 4.
I don't think they will.
Yeah,
they're
doing well. It's just weird how football and time changes. Like last week, you're talking about a little relegation fight, and then this week you're talking about top 4.
I think that was more trying to take the mick out of Arsenal.
Yeah. But I just don't see Arsenal being as good as the top 6 right now. They are getting better. They will get better. I think they can challenge for Europe, but they have to keep it up. It's only been 3 games.
With this as well.
They played Brighton and West Brom. Let's not kid ourselves on a poor Chelsea side.
Yeah,
let's not
Southampton.
acting like Arsenal are back and they're really good. Time will tell how good they are, and if they keep it up, then they could challenge for top 6. But for me, I think they'll fall short.
Well, that sixth place will be tough for them because there's teams like Southampton, Leicester, Everton, Villa, Chelsea, West Ham.
Yeah,
there's a lot of teams who are above them at the moment who are playing well.
This season, it's almost like there's a 5-team league with the bottom 5 with Burnley, West Brom, Sheffield United, Brighton, and Fulham, and then above them there's a few average teams like Newcastle, Crystal Palace. And then from there, you've got top sides that not top sides names wise, but footballing wise, they're having good seasons. We're talking about Southampton, West Ham, Leeds. These sides, like when your teams are playing them, such as like when Man United and Everton are playing your Leeds and your West Hams and your Southampton, you're thinking it's a tough game. Whereas in the past, you're thinking, oh, we'll get 3 points against these teams. So this season, it's a lot. The competitive balance is there. So you can't just say, oh, Arsenal are picking up wins. So are Southampton and so are your West Hams and your Leeds and Evertons and your Leicesters. So that's why I think they'll just miss out.
Well, you've got Wolves. Wolves are 13th at the moment, and they was like always finishing 7th or 8th because all the teams like Everton were underperforming. Villa was like relegation battle. West Ham were underperforming. Now they're performing. Wolves are only 13th, and even they're struggling.
Yeah, I don't think Wolves are the same side this season without Jimenez. They're really struggling, and I think they need a striker in January because their striker at the moment,
Silva, he's only 18.
Yeah, he's really
missing Jota as well, big time.
Yeah.
That Pedro Neto is a huge player. I think he'll go right.
He's a player, isn't he?
Him and Port, I think them two are really good players, but they're not players that will carry you and get you the top 6, 7s, which they have been in the last few seasons. So, again, Wolves, it's not an easy game. We've seen Tottenham and Chelsea drop points against them. And
that's what Everton have got next game, actually, Wolves at Molineux. Even though they're not like the 13th in the league, it seems it's still like you don't want to play Wolves at Molineux because you feel like they could be like what they once were last season, get beat 3-0. Stuff like that. But the 13th, I don't think it reflects how they actually are the team.
What do you think about Everton's results against West Ham, Leeds? Were you surprised, or did you think that they were coming?
Well, we're normally better against better sides. Like Chelsea, for example, we beat them 1-0, beat Leicester away 2-0. But when it comes to like Sheffield United and West Ham's, I don't think because we like being the underdogs. I feel.
Yeah.
So when we're expected to beat like West Ham, for example. Sheffield United, we struggled. We only scored in the 80th minute, and it looked like a bland 0-0. West Ham, it looked like a bland 0-0 until they scored in the 86th minute. And we can't, for some reason, when teams try and defend against us, we can't break them down. Like we couldn't break West Ham down. Didn't look like we're going to break them down. We could be playing now. I don't think we would have scored. Like Sheffield United, I feel like just because they're so poor this season, we had like one chance we scored because we didn't create chances against them either.
I think the problem the problem Everton have got, I think, is these tight games against West Ham, Leeds, and who was the other loss against recently? West Ham, Leeds. I can't remember, but these tight games, I think these are the type of games that will determine if you'll get top 6.
Yeah, we need to be in teams like this because I don't know. We seem to be hot and cold. Like I say, we're lacking creativity, but players like Luka Dean, he's out at the moment, and he's a big part of our creativity. James Rodriguez will always come back. So we've got players like that who should be creating chances. Like Luka Dean's created the most chances as a defender in the last 3 seasons. Like every single season, he's created the most chances.
Him and Calvert-Lewin's link up is big for you.
Exactly, and it shows about Calvert-Lewin isn't scoring. He hasn't scored in the last 4 games.
He's not got the service.
Exactly. Because he's been out. And there's players like Allen to come back as well. I think when we have a full strength side, we'll be winning games like that. We would have beat West Ham if we had the full strength side.
Yeah. So, that's what I was thinking. Everton with a full strength side, they beat the likes of Leeds and your West Hams. But when you've got players out, the tight games, you need to grab them by the scruff of the neck. But without them players, it's difficult. And that's why I think you've lost them 2 games narrowly. But I think Everton will get stronger as the players will come back.
Yeah, we're lacking pace as well. We need a few players who can create defensive to attack quickly because there's no one really in our team that are like rapid. Everyone's got like a rapid player in the team. We don't.
Would you say like?
It won't be.
Yeah, like your attacking wingers, they will be.
Yeah, they're tricky. They're good at dribbling. They're good but they can't. They're not fast. Like everyone's got that player who can break the lines, but with just pace. We haven't got that, which is why we struggle to break teams down sometimes.
Talking about struggling to break teams down, we may as well move on to Man City. What was in style.
Fantastic. I didn't get to watch it, unfortunately, but I've seen the highlights and they look completely dominant. I think I saw a stat that Jamie Carragher highlighted. between Man City's 2 goals, I think Chelsea had. I think maybe it was a minute before Man City's first goal. I think Chelsea had 6 touches and Man City had 50 yards.
That was between the first and second goal.
Yeah.
That is some stat. And what it was, I watched the game. When Chelsea went 1 down, it was almost like they gave up. The game was gone. They kicked off, they passed it backwards, and it felt like no one wanted to come to the ball. You could tell that side was lacking in confidence. And Man City, they was going through the gears.
Yeah, Man City look like their old self, don't they?
Yeah, look like the Man City of 2 years ago when they won the league. They look a very good side.
Well, they're only 4 points behind Liverpool with 2 games in hand. So if they win them 2 games in hand, they're above Liverpool as well. And if
they've got some good fixtures as well, I think.
Liverpool on third.
Have you seen
they've got easy fixtures.
The next 6 fixtures in the Premier League are Brighton at home, Crystal Palace at home, Aston Villa at home, West Brom away, Sheffield United away, and Burnley away.
They should win all of them games.
You're looking at them on paper, and I can't see anyone getting a point against them.
Because everyone,
like they have been playing.
Everyone kind of like wrote them off because they didn't put they was more defensive this season. They normally were leaky at the back but scored more goals than the opposition. This season they're
the opposite, aren't
they? They're not scoring many, but they're not conceding many either. They win 1-0, 2-0.
I think Diaz has been a good signing for him.
Yeah, he has.
Defensively,
he's been very good.
Yeah, he has. At times, Man City's weakness was they were conceding too many goals. But right now, they're conceding very minimal goals. I think that they only conceded in the 93rd minute or what it was against Chelsea.
Yeah, I think.
And before that, they had back-to-back clean sheets.
Yeah, I think Pep's looking at it as in he's looking at the defence now because he knows his team can score. He knows the team can create chances. He's just looking at to try and short the defence to actually win these kind of games. Still like a United or a Liverpool, win them 1-0, 2-0.
Yeah,
because normally
it's important
they're conceding every game.
I think it's important as well because they don't have a striker at the moment, so they're going to need to keep clean sheets because they know that they're not going to be able to score 4 or 5 in a game anymore.
Yeah, look at the Manchester derby when it finished 0-0. Normally you'd expect City or United to get a goal, but City was so good defensively. Well, they're just more solid, but then that's sacrificing their attack.
However, you say that, but against Chelsea on the weekend, it looked like Man City had 15 players on the pitch. Every time a Chelsea player had it, there was 2-3 players around them. And every time they had the ball, it was almost like they've got options left, right, centre. When you got players like De Bruyne, he'll make you tick. It's simple as that. So even though they're defensively being stronger, I think the last 2 games, Man City have been back to them old selves and creating chances. They wasn't short for that. They need to keep it up though. And what I feel like is Pep needs to keep a consistent side. Like 1 week you can't play.
He has so many good players, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got.
I don't be wanting to play.
Yeah, I understand why he does it, but when you've got a winning side and you're playing so well, surely it's like you want to keep the form up and keep the. I understand why he rotates, but I just feel like he needs more of a consistent side if you want to actually go on and win the league. Like you don't see Liverpool changing many players. I know they've had to change defensive, but the front 3 players.
I think Phil Foden should be starting more.
Yeah, he should.
Really,
in the first half, especially, he was unbelievable against Chelsea.
He's magic.
Great goal as well.
I'd be annoyed if I was. Yeah. I'd be very annoyed if I was Phil Foden. I feel like they've managed him quite well. They've not thrust him out into the spotlight like a lot of teams do with youngsters, but I would want more game time if I was him.
When David Silva left, Phil Foden was supposed to they didn't sign anyone to replace David Silva because he had Phil Foden. So I expected him this season to play almost every game, like David Silva used to. But I think they're putting aside slowly. They've got too many good players.
You say that
start.
A lot of them are not playing regular. When they got a full fit squad, Jesus will score a brace 1 week and then he'll play Aguero the next week.
Yeah, Aguero's kind of been shot at the moment. He only come on last 5 minutes, didn't he?
Yeah, he's just come back from injury and I don't know with Aguero. I think he's one of the best Premier League strikers ever, but
I think the injuries have ruined him a bit.
The injuries are getting the better of him. What about Chelsea? What do you think of Frank?
I think they've got to be a little bit worried. Just the manner, like we said, when they went 1-0 down, their heads dropped. It's not like other teams where like going down kicks you into gear and makes you want to play more. With them, they just looked a bit lost when they went 1-0 down.
I think they need to find the feet with the squad that they've got, because players like Havertz, Werner, like even like Chilwell, they're a new squad, and they need time to like click and gel. I think it's tough for him at the moment. I think.
Do you think he'll get sacked? Well, do you think he'll get sacked?
I think. Well, there's been loads of speculation. Now he's favourite to get sacked, and there's people like I saw it before. Shevchenko might replace him, which is a weird.
Who do they always get to replace it? Goose Hiddink that always
Goose
comes in for like 1 month.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the next few results, definitely, but I can see it because it's Chelsea, and that's what Chelsea do, isn't it?
It's like they struggle. Like I said, they only beat teams that like the Brightons, the Fulhams, all that kind of teams. They don't beat anyone around them, which is something that needs to change.
Footballing, like the players aside, on Frank Lampard, Isaac, you'll know, he was at Derby last season. You're playing in the Championship. It's a different ball game. You're talking Derby County. Don't get me wrong, they're a fairly decent club. However, you're going to Chelsea. These are European champions. Are talking. It's a big difference, isn't it?
Yeah, you rung a lot of players with him as well. Like from Chelsea, you got Tomori, Mason Mount. You had Harry Wilson as well.
There was a big fish in a small pond. Yeah. They had a really good side at Derby. You had Tammy Abraham, Mount, Wilson, as you're saying.
A lot of their players now are starting in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Mason Mount as soon as he became Chelsea manager
2 seasons ago.
Yeah, Mason Mount straight away. As soon as Frank Lampard became Chelsea manager, he started in almost every game.
Yeah. I feel like with Frank, he's not got experience to look back on during these difficult times. Like, he's been at Derby and he had a decent ride. Like, they got playoffs. They won the playoff semi-final. They lost in the final, and then by the time they lost, he was at Chelsea. So he had a decent little ride there. So he didn't get the job on his managerial skills. He got the job because it was Frank Lampard. So he didn't have the experience that got him that job. Whereas now, go on.
They'll only sack him if like it goes like terrible, because I think he's a club legend. I don't think they want to ruin his legacy, because it could ruin his legacy if he ends up getting sacked. Obviously, as a player, that legacy will stay the same, but it's like in terms of him and Chelsea, it could ruin it a bit.
Yeah. So I just feel like now they're struggling and not getting results. Frank's not got that experience to help him now. Like, it's happened to many managers in the past like that have been like Frank, like Neville. He went to Valencia. And Thierry Henry at Monaco. Steven Gerrard a little bit at Rangers when he first came in, and Celtic was so dominant. They've not had experience to help them in these difficult times. Like, you can't look back at another bad spell. This is the first time it's happened. So I think it's a big learning curve for Frank, but he needs to get around it ASAP, because they're dropping points every week and you can't be affording to do that.
Yeah, they've got Fulham away.
I don't think he knows his best team or his best formation or his best system.
No, he doesn't. It's another one.
Changing all the time.
It's quite similar to Pep. He's got a lot of good players, and he's trying to find the team and the formation, because he's been playing 4-3-3, but a lot of Chelsea fans said they want 4-2-3-1 with Havertz just behind Werner. But like, he's playing 4-3-3 and playing Havertz on left wing, Werner right wing, or Ziyech right wing, or whatever. He's playing like a completely different team, and he's got no pace when he's playing, because he's playing Drew up front. Well, Werner's fast, but he's playing Drew up front, Ziyech right wing, so he's letting Werner do all the running.
I don't think there's any point playing Werner on a side, because that he's good through the middle. That's where he scored all his goals for Leipzig.
Yeah, he's not good at dribbling. He's good at getting in behind and
he needs a goal. They've got Morecambe at home in the FA Cup. So surely if they start him in that game, he scores.
Yeah,
you'd hope so, wouldn't you? But you never know.
Usually you rest players in the cup, but I feel like Chelsea, I think you play Werner just for his confidence.
Yeah, it needs a few goals,
especially when Frank's under pressure as well. I think he needs to put out a semi-decent team.
We're talking about Frank under pressure. If it was any other manager, I think the whole fan base nearly would be on the back wanting him sacked, just because it's Lampard. They're giving him more time. And I understand where it's coming from, because he's a club legend, like Ethan said, but it's a results-based business. How long will this go on for?
Well, they've got the three similar managers, aren't they? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Mikel Arteta, and Frank Lampard, and them two have gone through it like big time. Especially Arteta recently, Ole last year, and Lampard's now getting it. And I think they've both come out on the other side. So we'll look at Arteta might come out on the other side.
He hasn't yet, but he's looking.
But he looks like he's doing all right because they didn't have a solution. No one thought like Arsenal fans saying where's the next points coming from? Like who are they going to beat? And all of a sudden they've won 3 in a row. Obviously, 2 of them aren't great sides, but they beat Chelsea for a start. I think Frank will do something similar. They'll look at the next fixture. They've got Fulham, Leicester, Wolves, Burnley, Tottenham, and I think they'll end up picking like 6-9 points up, and maybe getting a result against Tottenham, like a big result against Tottenham, or like they need to start by beating Fulham at Craven Cottage first. I think if they get beaten in that game, then
I think if they get beaten in that game, he might go.
They don't need to think about what's happening in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. They just need to go by game and try and get that win again and build the confidence. No point looking 1 month ahead or 2 months ahead. They need to focus on the next game and the game after that and just start picking up a bit of momentum because their ability is there, isn't it?
Yeah. So do we want to touch on a huge game on Friday night as well, which was Manchester United, Aston Villa? A very impressive Villa side. Came to Old Trafford full of confidence. They're on great form. Fantastic defensively as well as going forward.
Villa are a good side away, aren't they? Like they don't really lose away at all. Like they played Chelsea at Stamford Bridge and then got a result. Like United was in for a tough game. And these are the type of games because obviously Villa are on 4 months where they got to play like Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish you need to like Bertrand Traore as well. He's looking good. They've got
he's doing all right.
They've got a solid team now. I think Dean Smith, John Terry, they've sorted them out. So I think to beat
Dean Smith doesn't get enough praise for me. Everybody's praising Bielsa for what he's doing, but no one's really touching on the fact that Dean Smith only just survived last season, and the job he's doing this season has been absolutely fantastic.
You look at it as well. Same. You probably shouldn't have survived last season because obviously what happened with Sheffield United the game, and the ball went in and stuff like that. But they bounced back from it. Because last season when they got promoted, they made some awful signings like Marvelous Nakamba, for example, like Yotta from Birmingham, who they signed players who weren't good enough. This season they've signed like some top players who like take it to the next level. Yeah, like Barks, for example, Bertrand Traore.
Unfortunately been injured for them, hasn't he?
Yeah, they got El Ghazi performing as well. Ollie Watkins is a big one. Like they're looking.
McGinn's been fantastic as well.
Yeah,
the guy doesn't stop running. He's so good.
Yeah, so if United to win that game, like I thought it would finish a draw personally. So for United to win, Martinez is a big one because they need a keeper because they ended up calling Pepe Reina, didn't they, in January, signing him.
Yeah.
Because Tommy Eaton got injured like all season, didn't he? They let Nyland in there in the end, and Nyland he's not a very good keeper.
See, that was a big game. Villa in form side, they've beat big sides this season like Liverpool. They've been a side teams struggled to play against, and I knew it would be a tricky game, but I felt it was a big 3 points for United. It was a tight game. Aston Villa kept going. They had chances like Eric Bailly right at the end.
At the end, my heart was in my mouth when that ball dropped for Keenan Davis. Oh my god!
If Eric Bailly stays fit, then you'll be much more solid at the back.
Him and Maguire look good, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think they suit each other perfectly. Maguire's got that aerial presence.
Bailly's
got a bit of pace about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good at recovery, like them one-on-one positions that he can get back. Yeah. So that penalty, it's a controversial one, but it's given. They put it away, and then I liked how United responded. They conceded, and then they almost immediately got a penalty on the other side. So it was a good. They could have easily started sitting back, but went through the gears quickly and quickly got that response.
Well, Ollie seemed to have found like a way to win now. Like sometimes United would like bottle it against teams that they should be beating, but now it's like the Wolves game and the Villa game. They're turning up when people expect United kind of form. Yeah, like
that's what you've got to do if you want to be title contenders.
When did he play City in the Carabao Cup semi-final?
Tomorrow.
On Wednesday.
Wednesday, the 6th
tomorrow,
of
isn't
January.
Yeah, if they win that, I have a Tottenham or Brentford in the final, and then I think they would beat Tottenham or Brentford in the final. So to win that game, we might
expect it to be
even to get a cup.
You never know.
Even to get a cup.
It'll
Just
be
a
a
big
tough
thing.
game.
Oh yeah,
Man
I
United
love that.
Man City,
Yeah,
because
you don't want a trophy United.
no,
No.
it'll be a tough game because Man City are looking good as well. So I think that'll
Yeah.
be a good game.
Yeah, hopefully it's better than the last one anyway, 0-0.
Well, it has to be because someone's got to go through.
I think both teams will play full strength as well because we know how much Pep likes the Carabao. Obviously, he's won it 3 times in a row, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And Oli desperately needs a trophy, so I can't see any rotation really. I think it'll be full strength from both.
Well, Cavani can't play, can he?
No, he can't.
3-game ban. Do you three think United are title contenders?
Yeah, I do. I think it'll be a free.
I'm not jinxing anything. I'm not saying anything.
Well, I said it when we did our predictions. It'll be a 3-horse race between City, Liverpool, United, and I think City, if they win most of their games that they got in a row, which he should do, I think City will be the ones to beat. I think United will be just behind them.
United
in my predictions, I had quite nice.
United have been ruthless, which they haven't been in previous seasons. I think they are really well. We'll see. We'll see next week if they can challenge Liverpool, and whenever United play City for the second time, then we'll really see if they're title contenders. I think they are.
Last season we were really good against the big teams, and then we fell short against the smaller deep blocks that we couldn't break down.
Well, yeah,
this season
that's where you've improved.
It's been a little bit different.
You've got better against the weaker sides,
and then we got trounced against Tottenham, and then we've not beat Arsenal. We've drawn against City, and we've drawn against Chelsea. So I think from our point of view, we need to improve. We need to get back to what we were doing last season against the big teams.
A lot of them results were earlier on in the season, though. I think the reason United, these tight games, they've been finding a way to win, like Ethan said. I think what really helps United is they've got a really strong bench. They've got players like Paul Pogba, Cavani, Mason Greenwood coming off the bench. Yeah, it's just like, to win the Premier League, you need a good squad. And I feel like that's why Man United and Man City are definitely title contenders. I keep hearing on like TalkSport and Twitter that Man United will finish third, Man United aren't title contenders. How can you say that? They win the game in hand against a relegation fighting team, Burnley, and they're top of the table. I just struggle to see how people are counting them out.
Well, since Bruno joined, we've had the most points in the league.
Yeah, look at it like this. Man United lost 3 games all season in the league. They lost against Tottenham right at the start, and Palace first game of the season.
That was with 10 men.
And they lost against Arsenal as well. And they was quite early on in the season. And since till there was 3 games, only games lost. And since then, well, they've won 10, drawn 3, lost 3.
What I think is important is if more than likely United do lose a game or draw against a lesser big side, how they respond to that. Because right now everything's good, they're winning, morale's high in the team. When they lose a game, or if they lose a game, how will Oli gather the squad again and go again? Because that'll be important.
I think you've seen though, with earlier on in the season when we were going 1-0 down or 2-0 down in every single away game.
Yeah,
I think you've shown a lot of character already this season.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot.
And that PSG when they went out the Champions League.
Yeah, I think we've shown some good character.
It's a good time to move on to Liverpool because they are the 3 title contenders, I'd say. Man City we've just covered. Man United we've just covered. Now Liverpool, what's going on?
Well, you look at Liverpool.
I don't know.
And the last 3 games they played West Brom, Newcastle and Southampton. You expect them to get 9 points. Liverpool last season would have got 9 points. So looking at that, they scored 1 goal in them 3 games. So they didn't score against Southampton, and they blanked twice out of 3 games. And normally you expect Liverpool to say they played West Brom, you expect to go 5 in that game, and Newcastle you expect to go 2 or 3, and Southampton expect to go 2 or 3. There's something wrong. Everyone's talking about the defence, but their attack's not doing it.
They're just playing the sort of hoofball tactic.
Yeah, it's like teams have figured them out a bit. Like teams know how to set up against them because last season obviously they dominated the league, so now they're a team to beat. So teams are looking at them and thinking this is our cup final kind of thing when they're playing against them.
Liverpool struggle because they don't have a necessary plan B. Plan A is cross, get it to Robbo, get it in the box, get it to Trent, get it in the box, cross the balls into the box, and they'll find a way to win.
Well, you see, I was on around yesterday. He lost possession 38 times in 77 minutes, and it was his fault. And it was his fault for the goal as well.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what was up with Arnold yesterday. Yesterday against Southampton, he really struggled, didn't he? It was he could be one of the worst performances I've seen him play for Liverpool. Usually, he's one of the standouts.
Well, they need a goal, and he's like a big source of the goals from the assist, and the free kicks. And they took him off in the 70th minute because he was out of Tory time.
And
so
the bum
that's
Millwall.
Yeah, exactly.
That just tells you, doesn't it?
See, the thing is, even before yesterday's game, if they beat West Brom and Newcastle, everyone's saying the league's done, basically. You'd think, Liverpool are too strong, who's going to stop them? 2 results, 3 results now. They've got United next, in the Premier League next week.
They've got Villa in the Cup, which is at Villa Park as well. So that obviously no fan played Villa as well.
Game. And then going to where's it at?
Anfield.
Well, Liverpool lost Anfield since 2016, have they? Like Mane and Alisson played like that. They never lost at Anfield ever. So
2017 winning against Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace, Big Sam. So
Big Sam.
For thingy, Man United to win at Anfield would be massive. And if they do win, then I will take them very seriously.
The gap's 6 points if Man United win that game, and then they obviously win the game in hand. So it's a huge game. I think a point will be better for Man United, definitely.
I'd take a point.
Solskjaer, Man United, do you want to play Liverpool this weekend?
Yeah.
That Liverpool side, they're not the normal Liverpool side. Just look at them, they've got Fabinho and Henderson at centre-back.
I think they're tired out as well.
Yeah, Danny Ings was saying when he seen the team sheet, he couldn't believe his eyes. He was rubbing his hands together. You're playing against 2 centre midfield players that play centre half.
They're not very fast either, are they?
No, they're not. I know they didn't do too bad, but Henderson centre half, it's not his position. I think he struggled.
Fabinho's done it quite a lot.
Yeah, Fabinho's a very good centre back,
but not Henderson.
No,
he struggled yesterday. I thought just stuff like when they've got a corner and they're running all the way across the pitch to defend again after they lose the ball. Usually you're only running 15-20 yards to get back to the centre of pitch, but you're running all the way across. It's not easy to adapt, and against a good pacey Southampton side they had out yesterday.
Well, with the United-Liverpool game next week, it's a good chance for Liverpool to rest the players because they don't take the cup seriously, really, do they?
No, they don't.
No.
So they can rest like the likes of Salah, Mane, all the kind of players that they'll need that game.
And they've got 9 days after the Aston Villa game until they play us. So
yeah, they've had a big break.
A lot of time to rest.
Do you think he'll rest players because he'll want that win?
Well, in the cup, he doesn't take it like look at last year. He didn't take it last year seriously at all. Obviously, if he ended up beating us, they're a bunch of kids. He played kids against Villa in the Carabao Cup. They got beat. He didn't take it very seriously at all. So I think they'll find it a tough game anyway with the best team out against Villa, because I know Villa will play a strong team as well. So I think if he'll play a weakened side, and if they do get beat, he'll say we'll play a weak team.
I think he'll be a mixed side. So I think like centre half,
like Milner player.
Yeah, I think the problem that Liverpool might have had is Reece Williams and Nat Phillips are there on the bench yesterday. They're centre backs.
Yeah.
They've seen 2 centre mids playing in their position. They must be thinking, that's my preferable position, and I'm on the bench. So
surely one of them starts.
Yeah, I thought one of them would play, but that won't help the confidence. If they come back in, they won't be 100% there confidence-wise because the manager clearly doesn't trust them 100%.
Yeah, and they're going to be looking over their shoulder thinking, am I going to play next game, or is Hendo going to be back in my position?
Yeah, Liverpool's passing accuracy yesterday was 80%. That's the lowest it's been all season.
What do you think about Liverpool fans? There was an article that I saw last night after the Liverpool game against Southampton, and they said that how hard done by Liverpool had been. Like they had 16 decisions going against them that shouldn't have gone against them. So I
don't believe any.
The first one was Salah penning against Liverpool. Then obviously there's 2 big moments in the Everton-Liverpool game with Pickford's challenge of Van Dijk and Henderson going last minute with Mane offside. Then recently Carl Darlow when Mane went clean through and he seems to trip him up. And then in the game against Southampton when Stevens handballed it. Well, that was too. I think it was. In my opinion, it was too close to him. And Walker Peters fouled on Mane. So they've said they've released 16 times when they've been hard done by. So that's what they're going to blame now because they're not doing as well.
Yeah. I think you have to earn your luck though, and have Liverpool earn their luck in these past 3 games. I don't think they have. What was it? 1 shot on target yesterday. That Mane attempt.
Yeah, exactly.
Or did they have one more? Maybe
75th minute, something like that, late on in the game.
Yeah, tame attempt as well.
I
think you have to earn your luck.
They hadn't had a shot that late on target for 5 years.
Yeah, like I said before, everyone's talking about the defence, which might cost them, but they need to sort of attack out. I know they've got world-class attackers, but they're not doing anything.
I think they need to change something, mate. Just slightly. Maybe put Salah up front. They've done it 2 seasons ago. They've not got. I think Firmino struggling. I'm not saying change everything, but maybe just change the formation to a 4-2-3-1. Put Salah up top. Or Shaqiri out wide. Just something to get teams thinking.
I think they need Jota back ASAP.
Well, yeah, when Jota comes, he can play out wide, and you can have Salah and Mane.
Look at the game before they played them 3 games. They played Crystal Palace, didn't they? They won 7-0 against Crystal Palace, and he started Minamino. And since that game, Minamino hasn't featured. So he opened scoring as well, Minamino, to put 1-0 up early on. And then they brought Salah off on the bench, and he ended up scoring 2. It was like an onslaught after that. So I don't see why they've decided not to play Minamino at all. Something different. And last time he played, they won 7-0.
See, yesterday Liverpool had 56 touches in the opposition box. I just felt yesterday they didn't know what to do. It just wasn't the same Liverpool. Salah had a half chance to get a shot away and he tried passing it. And you're just thinking, why has he done that? Yeah. I think they are lacking a little bit of confidence. It is a blip and they will get over it. But when you're at the top of the table, they're giving confidence to the teams beneath them. That's what's important. United and City will be rubbing their hands together seeing Liverpool not winless in 3, losing yesterday against Southampton. So that's important that they need to put it right. And I think it is the perfect opportunity to put it right against the team that's second in the league, Man United.
Before the Newcastle game, they scored in the last 22, 21 away matches. And obviously it's blanked in the last 2. So something is wrong. Because you can't score in the last 20 away matches and then you play Newcastle and Southampton. You aren't, no disrespect to them two, but they're not world class. And you expect Liverpool to score against them every day of the week. So the fact that they've blanked these last 2 games, I don't know, it's real tough for them at the moment.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Liverpool. Do we need to start considering Leicester for that top 4 spot? They're now 1 point behind Liverpool on the same games played.
See, Leicester are always there. These last 2 seasons anyway, Leicester have always been a strong outfit. Last season, they were second for ages, weren't they? Until
they tailed off
until
didn't they?
Until lockdown, actually, when the football came back, they ended up finishing 5th, didn't they? And you got Europa League when they was favourites to get Champions League. So I feel
it went down to the final day, didn't it? When they played us.
Yeah. So I feel I don't know. I think they might do the same as they did last year.
Yeah, I feel like Everton have the same problem as Leicester in terms of squad depth. They both can't really afford to rotate because the players off the bench just aren't as good.
Well, we need a right back. I hope we look at I've heard Man United looking at Max Aaron. So Everton as well. I hope Everton try and do something with that Max Aaron deal. We need.
You already have Godfrey off them, haven't you?
Yeah. So we have quite a good relationship with him. Yeah. So and we need another striker because Tosin.
Yeah. Someone with some pace.
Yeah, exactly. We just need something different. We don't really have a plan B either because we don't have most people plan B is bring on a rapid striker, winger, try and stretch the defense. But yeah, we don't have that at the moment, so we're struggling majorly.
Right, boys. I think we've wrapped up everything nicely there. I think we've covered this week, and I've got one final question: which player this week has impressed you the most? So we'll do Premier League and Championship. Mo, do you want to kick us off with that?
Yeah, for me it will be Kieran Tierney. Just the way he played, he scored a goal. He was constantly giving options to the wingers, overlapping, and I feel like he was a bit. He shows a lot of passion, and you could tell in his celebration, and he really wanted to play for the club. So I think he's helped the club build from the bad patch of form, and results are showing, and I feel like he was superb this weekend.
Yeah, I saw pictures of him in the warm-up, when it was snowing like hell.
Short
And he was
sleeves.
the only person warming up.
Yeah,
Yeah, short sleeves and shorts. You can tell he wants it. He's one of the Arsenal players that really wants it, and obviously wants to get Arsenal back where they belong. Maybe. Isaac, have you got any players standing out for you this week?
Phil Foden in the game against Chelsea.
Yeah,
I thought he was very good.
Fantastic.
Showed a lot of quality. Showed glimpses of David Silvers and whatnot. He was very good.
Ethan?
I'll go with Eze, just for the fact that Sheffield United couldn't cope with him all game, and especially the goal, just capped off what his performance was about.
Fantastic, wasn't it?
From the halfway line, beating 3 or 4 players and putting it right in the bottom corner, just outside the box as well. It was a tough finish. So yeah, I feel like he'll be massive Chris past season, and in that game especially, it shows he got them on that win really.
Yeah. Have we got any players from the Championship?
Lucas João for me. Coming back from injury. Coming off the bench. I think it came off the bench anyway. Scoring 2 goals to win the game. Perfect return for him.
For me, Buendia. Just superb as usual. He was brilliant in the middle of the park, and he scored a phenomenal goal. So yeah, for me, Buendia.
I think I'm in the Premier League. I'm going to go for Bukayo Saka. He's really impressed me, not just this week, recent weeks in general. Like we said, the Arsenal youth are coming to their aid massively, and I don't think anyone's been more helpful to them than Bukayo Saka. In terms of the old Greenwood Foden Saka argument, I think Saka's creeping up there for me. He looks fantastic every time I watch him. In terms of the fact that he can play anywhere as well. What was he playing left back last season, and now he's playing right wing, and he can play left wing. He can play anywhere, everywhere. He does a job.
Different qualities,
so hard. Yeah.
I look at Greenwood's finishing is unbelievable. Saka can play anywhere. He's good at wherever he plays. Foden creativity is unbelievable. They've all got different qualities that.
Yeah, they've all got different things, and exciting times for England, I guess, because we've got all 3 of them. Right then, I think that's it for this second episode of a podcast of 2 halves, brought to you by Spark. Just like to say a big thank you, because our first episode's I think it's on 96 views on YouTube, so very close to 100. We appreciate everyone that takes time out of their day to listen to us ramble about football, and more episodes will be coming on a weekly basis. So thanks for listening.
Thanks a lot. Cheers, George.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you next week.
See ya.